We hear a lot about the impact of DVR on viewing, how people fast forward through ads. What makes you think that anybody would stop and actually click on an ad to get more information?
Well, we see that the environment is different. I think it comes down to the environment. If we look at the guide, for instance, on our service providers, we know that it's an uncluttered environment. There's really only one advertiser there. And when someone comes to the guide, they're in a different mindset. They're there to search and discover content. And if they see an ad that's tailored to them or that they want to find out more information about, they can do that. Because they're not limited to a 30-second ad. They're not trying to get through an entire commercial pod that may have nothing to do with them. It's really self-selection, and that's what interactivity provides, and that's what addressability provides. So whether it's the service provider guide or it's on the CE space, if I'm there to look for a widget or if I'm there to look for a piece of video, you start with that new homepage or the core user interface on the CE devices. That's a different environment. You're in a different mindset. So if I see an ad that's tailored to me and I know that I can click on it and I'm not missing any content, then that's great. I think the reason people skip through 30-second ads is because they want to get back to the content. In this case, they haven't really selected any content yet, so they're more apt to engage with the advertising. And we've seen that on the service provider side. We've got a number of campaigns where people spend a lot of time with these advertisements, and once they're germane to them, they spend time and click through them.
One of the challenges with addressable advertising is remnant inventory. How are you going to handle that?
So we look at remnant as serving multiple brands across multiple different locations and potentially in multiple different genres as well. The good thing about us, and again, one of the reasons the CE manufacturers like to work with us is because the fill that we have isn't low-cost DR advertising. It's the entertainment guys, the studios, the networks that are trying to promote shows. So we sell the entertainment group specific campaigns, and we also use them to fill in across certain day parts in different categories and different locations.
So essentially no remnant.
Essentially no remnant, yeah, that's exactly right.
Can you talk about some strategic partnerships you have with CE manufacturers?
We sit in a unique position with the CE manufacturers. We've been their guide for a long time, so if you've got a CE device out there, you press the remote for the guide, it's our data and technology that pops up. So we've been working with these guys for a long time. Our strategic partnership on the smart TV side is that we've worked together with them really hand in hand as they've developed these native platforms. They've, for a long time, had other companies that have kind of ridden on their platforms, like the Yahoo widget platform. That's really on top of what the CE devices are all about. The CE manufacturers said, in the last 2 years, we want to own that relationship with the customer. We don't want to just sell them a television and then come back in 5 or 6 years and then try to sell them another television. They want to have an ongoing relationship. So they've built out these interfaces to really interface with the customer, their customers. And we are in a position that we're working hand in hand with them to build these interfaces, to help customers search and discover new content, and now serve ads directly into those platforms. So de facto, we are the ad platform serving ads into these smart televisions for multiple brands with multiple advertisers. The other thing that's really key for the CE manufacturers, why they like to work with us, is because we have a long history of selling to studios, networks, top-tier brands, and they want to make sure, the CE manufacturers want to make sure that when a consumer turns on their television, it's a good environment for them. They don't want to spend all this money and then have them turn on the television and see ads that are inappropriate for them or not targeted to them or are low cost and low brand. They want to make sure it's a good consumer experience. So we work hand in hand on that.
So Jeff, can you give me some predictions for the next 5 years? How do you think the landscape will look?
I think connected televisions and devices will continue to grow. We think that 90+% of all televisions 40 inches and above will be connectable to the internet, and I think that connectivity rate will continue to grow. I think consumers will continue to engage with content where it's addressable. So if it's germane to them and important to them, they will continue to engage with it. And I think ROVI, selfishly, I think we're positioned favorably because content becomes more proliferated. People need to search and discover content because otherwise they get overwhelmed. In the connected world, you have all this IP delivered video. The options are endless. They're going to need to start somewhere to, find new content, to learn more about actors, all that type of thing. So they'll start with us, which is important.